All right, so we're going to hop back up on the bike here in 1 second, leaving this creek crossing behind. What we have is we actually have another little point of interest here. Again, I mentioned that there was real lack of kind of milepost markers on this section of line. And so what we have here is we actually have the box for the fiber line that runs alongside the grade. And you can see the mileage here, so it's 178.16. And again, that is the mileage on the Kinghorn. And so to get the mileage on the original lines, what we have to do is subtract the 49.7 miles, and that gives us 128.46. All right, let's jump back up on the bike here. And we've got a few other things kind of coming up here. We've got some more culverts and stuff like that. And eventually, in a little bit, we're going to be arriving at Amethyst Station. So what I'm going to do here is, again, our next stop is not coming up for about 100 meters or so, and I'll just sort of zip you ahead there. Just enjoy the scenery. Again, beautiful fall day today. Wish it was just a tad bit cloudier. Maybe the clouds will kick up again so we don't get all these crazy shadows. Okay. So we do have another culvert here. Again, modern culvert. There's a few more interesting culverts to take a look at. So the mileage on this one here is 178.24. And again, so we have to subtract the 49.7. And so that becomes 128.54 on the original lines. Okay, so what we'll do is we're going to pause here, and then we are going to continue working our way to the west, and like I said, eventually reaching Amethyst Station. All right, so we're back in the saddle here, and what we're doing is we're making our way through a little bit of a grown-in section here. You can see kind of the vegetation is sort of encroaching on the railway grade a bit, and kind of fluctuates. You get sections where it's kind of very wide open, and here there's a little bit of a cut kind of going on, and you can see that the alders and the birch and things like that are starting to kind of creep in a little bit. One of the things that's helping is the fact that this grade, this section of grade, because there are so many residences and camps, as we call them here, along the shore of Lake Superior, it's very, very well used. You can see that sometimes I do have ballast issues when I'm riding the bike here, and sometimes it's hard to plug through the ballast. You'll notice that there is a lot of ballast, but it's all been sort of pushed, you know, because of the ruts here from the tires of, I guess in particular, the all-terrain vehicles. So the riding is pretty easy here. So we do have something coming up just ahead, and I forgot to stop and take a look at this on my way east this morning. So we're going to make sure we stop and take a look at it now. So I actually hiked everything that we're covering today. I actually hiked last winter. Around about December, January, I was out here when there wasn't as much snow. We didn't get a particularly ton of snow last year, but I was out here and just basically kind of walking I walked the grade. Wasn't about to take my bike out here in these sort of conditions. So I walked around, and I was actually able to kind of explore the grade ahead of time. So we're gonna take a look for this object here that I indicated on my GPS. Now the question is where is it? There it is. Okay, I'm going to take my helmet off so you can see this a little bit better. This is one of those what is it things, because I'm not really sure what this is. I don't know if it's railway related. You would think, because it's kind of in a bit of an isolated area, but I really don't have a clue what this is. It's a big chunk of metal, and it's very, very heavy, and it doesn't want to move. It's got kind of a little bit of a lid to it. So again, not entirely sure what the heck this is. So If there's anybody out there that might have an idea of what this object is, please let me know. All right, so we're back in the saddle here, and we're resuming our westward journey. Again, still kind of grown in here. Actually, this is kind of a little bit of a pretty section here with the conifers kind of growing in alongside the grade, and we got some tamaracks that are yellowing. So it kind of makes for a sort of a very sort of pretty and sort of scenic ride here. I just forgot what I was going to say. It's also, oh, sorry, I was going to say that it's also kind of nice because it kind of closes in a little bit and we don't get the wind as much as we normally would. So we're coming up here on the next station on the line, which is Amethyst Station. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to zip you ahead until we get there. Okay, so just enjoy the scenery here. Oh, sorry, it was a short ride here. I sort of forgot about this. So we do have a culvert, and I can't read the mileage marker on there, but what's neat about this is you can actually see the remnants of the old culvert, and so you can see at least one piece of the segmented concrete culvert that used to be in there. The creek itself doesn't look like it has a ton of water sort of flowing through it, but kind of neat to see those remnants, and we're actually going to see some more remnants like that. We're actually going to see some concrete culverts that are still in place, and we're going to see some that are that have been pulled out. All right, so just up here is the beginning of the siding here at Amethyst Station. There wasn't really a station here, it was just a siding. This is one of a number of the stations on this line that actually had their names changed. And this one occurred, I believe, in the 1920s. So I'll try to pin down a date for you, and I'll try to flash that up on the screen. So basically, it was known as Sibley Station up until about the mid-1920s, and then at some point after that, in the mid-20s or late 20s, the name was changed. So right here we actually have the beginning of the siding, so you can see that it picks up here. Now again, I'll have to flash this up on the screen. I don't quite remember when the siding was discontinued. I don't know exactly when they would have pulled things up, but this was one of the first sidings, at least on this western portion of the line, that they stopped using, and I want to say that it was in the 1970s. Here you can see a little rock cut on the north side, and then again the siding here on the south side. Okay, so before we go any further, we just want to jump in with some new information. We're actually doing this 2 years after the initial hike. So again, Sibley was an original station on the line, and it was renamed Amethyst in 1927. So on the 1926 timetable you see Sibley, and on the 27 timetable you see Amethyst, which I think was a little bit more reflective because Sibley is kind of to the east, right, the Sibley Peninsula, and this is very close to Amethyst Harbour. So as I mentioned, Amethyst was one of the first stations to, there was a real downsizing that happened in the 50s and then into the 60s and 70s. And so in 1964, the station and the siding here were removed. And so they were no longer being used, even though it does still show up on the 1970 series topographic map. You still see the siding, which is actually shown much shorter than it actually is. It actually is quite long. So what I'm going to do here is I'll show you the map where you can see the siding, and then I'll show you some timetables here where you can see sort of the progression of things. you could see that it's been a long time since the siding was taken up, because the amount of growth that's in there. There's not anything really particularly big growing, but just how quickly everything has kind of grown in there really kind of gives you an idea that it hasn't been used in quite a number of years. If we kind of, I don't know if we can, again, I was here last winter and I can't remember if you can kind of, you know, distinguish some of the indentations from the ties. I don't know if they're pronounced. Some of the sidings on the line, you can actually still see the ties that are still into place. I don't think this is right. Camera got hung up on the tree, got covered in needles. One of the joys of trying to navigate your bike through these tight spaces here. So here you can really see the grade is pronounced, or sorry, the siding is very, very pronounced. I think I have like pine needles down my back too. Yep. One of the joys of fall. Maybe we'll jump back up on the real grade here for a second. It's a little clearer over here. Again, you can see that the time of the year, the sun is very low on the horizon. Just trying to see if we can pick up some of the indentations from the ties at all. But again, you can kind of really see this really well-defined area where the siding was. Like right here with the leaves down, you can really make it out very well. Yeah, I can kind of feel them, but they're not, right? I'm looking down at my feet here. I can kind of, seems like I kind of got my feet in a couple of spots here, but it's not super well defined. Now, one of the interesting things about this section here is there's actually a lot of culverts here on the siding at Amethyst or Sibley. Again, I don't know why the name was changed. The original name, Sibley, is named after the Sibley Peninsula, which is just to the east of us. Here we can actually see there's a culvert, and you can see there's quite a bit of deterioration. You can see the mileage on the marker there. So 178.72, and again, that's the mileage on the Kinghorn. So the original lines would be 129.02. Again, you can see the siding because the culvert starts here, but it doesn't end till way up there, right? So obviously to account for the siding. And there's kind of a whole bunch of culverts here in a row. One of the neat things you're going to see here as well is that it obviously appears that people around here have been kind of clearing some of the brush from the grade, and there's kind of piles of cut brush alongside the grade. And so here you can just see the siding continues along. You can kind of see it really well sort of defined there. Nope, squirrel. Luna has been rather enjoying herself today. Seems like she's got a lot of energy. Again, here you can see the grade, or sorry, the siding very well. Right just to my left here to the south. And here we have a bunch more culverts. So the mileage here, this is 178.89, and again, the culvert opens up way on the other side there because of the siding. And there's actually a bunch of culverts here before we get to before the end of the siding. There's a few more coming up. Milepost 179 is supposed to be around here somewhere, but again, no no trace of a milepost marker. There's only one that we're going to see today, and that's the milepost 180. And we'll be coming up on that obviously in about a mile. So here you can see the siding here, and again you can see these piles of brush that have been cut and all kind of very neatly stacked alongside the grade here. It's just kind of weird to see them. Just the manner in which they're stacked. It's just so neat. I know when I cut brush, my piles don't look anything like that. I think we have some more culverts coming up here. The milepost 179 is supposed to be somewhere here, but again, I don't see it. Here's another culvert here, right? And this tells you that 179 has got to be somewhere just up there. So the mileage is 179.05. Again, some of these nicely stacked piles of brush. And here is basically the end of the siding. This is where it sort of comes to, I believe it sort of comes to an end. Yeah, because it kind of peters out here. All right, so we're going to hold up here. We're going to reload, and then we got a road crossing coming up pretty soon. And then we'll just continue working our way to the west.